Hello and welcome. This is Best Foot Forward Shoes, the podcast, and this is episode number 23. And we have a very special returning guest. We have Derrick Narciso Jr. He is a incredible creator on Instagram and YouTube. He goes by the name The Chosen One, and of course, as always, you will be able to see all of his Instagram and YouTube links down in the description below. He joins us today from Melbourne. He has done a whole bunch of recent sneaker releases that we're going to chat about. We're also going to chat about the latest Kith drops and some upcoming exciting sneakers. So let's get straight into it. Derrick, how are you doing, mate?
Hey man, good to be back. Thank you for having me. Long time no see. What's this, a third one?
I think it's the third, yeah.
Yeah, third time. Wow, man, you've come a long way again. Congratulations on the successful page. I've seen you interview a lot of heavy hitters, so for you to reach out again to me and join you for this one, wow, it is such an honor, sir. So thanks again for having me, and hi and hello to all your followers and fans. I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Thank you very much. Well, it's going to be a fun little chat about some of the latest recent releases. We're also going to chat about some of the latest projects that you've been doing. We've seen you do a whole bunch of reviews with ASICS, a couple of exciting new colorways of shoes, and your continued work with the kickstand. Also going to ask you a little bit about some of the upcoming events that the kickstand has going on, which is pretty exciting. So obviously you're in Melbourne, and there's one date in Melbourne. I believe it's in September.
That's correct.
So we're going to be, excited about that. It feels like it's a long way away, but I mean, it's going to creep up pretty quick. And as we know, this year has gone by incredibly quickly already. Can you believe it's April already?
I know, right?
Like it's the fourth month of the year, and
can't believe it.
Christmas feels like a long, long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, a quarter of 2025 is gone now.
And I was just thinking, like we were just chatting about the Philippines, like actually being in one of the cities in the Philippines, and it made me think back to my trip in like November of last year, and that was something that we were looking forward to for such a long, long time. And now that was 4 months ago, and like it's just insane how kind of quickly that time goes, and how I need to rewatch some of the videos I've made about that trip, and also the photos, just to be able to remind myself. Like we were just talking about a city in the Philippines called Baguio, which is very well known for its nice climate up in the mountains, with some very cool like vintage clothing scenes and all that sort of stuff. So if anyone's ever been to Baguio or knows that place, it's a very, very nice city in the Philippines. It's roughly about 5 hours away. I think 5 hours drive.
Yeah,
if you get good traffic, anywhere as the crow flies in Manila or Philippines is like not that far away. But when you encounter traffic, it makes everything a lot worse, as you very well know, formerly being from the Philippines, and you actually went there pretty close to my time when I was there. So actually, I don't think I've asked you about that. How was the trip over there to the Philippines?
A lot of food eating.
Yeah.
The funny thing I've noticed and continue noticing is the price of sneakers and clothing are, compared to us here in Australia, they're more expensive now in the Philippines when you convert it to the Aussie dollar. So there wasn't a lot of shopping. There was a lot of window shopping, but even discounted, it was still more expensive than us. So yeah.
There's obviously there's a lot of stores like in the Manila CBD. There's a ton of stores. You've got the Atmos store, you've got the Adidas, Nike flagship stores, all that sort of stuff. The Jordan stores, all those sort of stores. Yeah.
Speaking of the Atmos store in I think BGC, right?
Yeah.
I was really impressed. There was the display at the front was really cool, and they had a cafe upstairs. Mm-hmm. So props to those guys. That's really cool shop.
That's definitely one of my. So we basically had someone who took us around a little bit, like one of my wife's relatives took us around and took us to all the mainstream kind of stores, and then I just completely got caught swept up in a new culture, a new thing, and I just totally forgot about the Atmos store, and I tried super hard to get back to that part of the city. Mm-hmm. But as you know, it is so hard to get around. It's like it will take basically half a day to get from one place to another and actually spend a proper amount of time there and then get back. And so just time, man, it just flew away and I couldn't
Yeah.
get to the Atmos store, which is probably one of the biggest regrets of that whole thing, which means that when I go back there, whenever that will be, it is going to be number one on my list, and I'm definitely going to be going back there straight away. So yeah, if anyone's, leave a comment down below of what your kind of favorite place in the Philippines, if you've ever been there, what your kind of lasting memory was of the place, because I certainly have a fair few lasting memories, and of course you do, Derrick, being a native of the Philippines, converted Australian. We're very happy to have you in Australia. Import, yeah, we import a lot of good people over in Australia. We have a great multicultural society. But let's get straight into the sneakers. So this is going to be a little bit of a Kith heavy episode. We obviously saw recently the Kith 992 and 991 V2 releases. These were to celebrate the Osaka store of the Osaka opening of the Kith latest store. They obviously have one already in Tokyo, multiple other locations around the world as well. None in Australia yet. Maybe that'll come soon. But as you can see on screen, you've got the 991 and 992. This was unfortunately a very hard cop for me. I did not get these. The 991 V2 was a little bit of a pass, but I was definitely wanting to get the 992. It's just that colorway is so nice. I don't know if you tried to get these ones, Derrick, but what did you think about this release from Kith?
No, I didn't try because I knew my chances would be next to none, so I didn't bother. But a few of my friends actually got them, which is I'm really stoked about for them.
Yeah.
Just sad you didn't get them. I felt like this would be a Harrison kind of sneaker. Could actually be top 5 sneaker of the year for you, maybe, if you were able to count.
Man, there's a lot of heavy hitters right now. There's a lot of contenders going on for that sort of title right now. But yeah, this would have been up there for sure.
Yeah. This for me, if I did cop, this would have been easily in my top 10.
Yeah.
Can't argue with it. Classic Ronnie Fieg colorway, easily, it's easy to dress up and down. It's a very versatile sneaker, and it's super clean.
Yeah,
super clean.
There was also, I saw a video of the kind of the head of Kith in Japan. I'm so sorry, I've forgotten his name, but there was a video of Ronnie Fieg gifting him a couple of new unreleased sneakers, which was kind of cool. I don't know if you saw that video, but he brought out a couple boxes of his latest 2010 New Balance model, which is yet unreleased. We've seen videos and photos, but yeah, this was the first time they've actually kind of seen them in hand with someone. And so I guess this whole Osaka store opening is a great kind of milestone for Kith, and this shoe is kind of always going to be associated with that. It actually does have a proper name, but people are just calling it the Kith Osaka pack. But yeah, I'll throw that video up. But it was definitely an awesome moment, and props to Ronnie Fieg and Kith. Like, they're really kind of pushing the boundaries. They're making huge waves in that sort of fashion scene. So, did you see that video, Derrick, or am I?
No,
the first time?
I haven't.
Okay.
Because it would just hurt me if I see that video.
Yeah. Well,
extremely jealous.
It was an unreleased shoe that they basically previewed by giving it to the head.
You know what model it was?
It's called the 2010. It's like an unreleased model.
What brand?
From New Balance. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's going to be an exciting release, and I love the look of them. They're like a mashup of like a 2002R with like some 990 kind of feels, some almost premium materials. They're probably going to. There's been a fair few leaks of photos of them, so it's an exciting kind of new model. But that whole Osaka Kith chapter feels like a kind of exciting milestone moment for Kith. And speaking of Kith as well, they also released a 997.5 in almost like a shock drop, which basically a bunch of creators on Instagram kind of previewed, and they posted their stories saying, use this code to get early access, and it was only up on the store for a day. There was 2 different colorways. There was like the Easter kind of pastel theme, and then there was more of like a white tonal. I ended up getting the kind of more Easter pastel color of that one. I know a lot of people that got both of them because a lot of people missed out, as I said before, on the 992. And so they were like, all right, that's it. I'm just rage copying. So that was kind of me. And having them...
Pretty cool marketing strategy.
So it's just nice sometimes to be able to, instead of having to be so nervous and stuff about raffles, to just be like, all right, it's available. I'm just going to get it, you know? Like there's no stress, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it can get a little bit annoying when you're constantly not winning shoes in the raffles, and then you're like, I just want to have a secure dub, you know?
No, I think that was me with the Bread 185s. And then just went out to the city and copped the black toast. The black toast out of spite.
Yeah. I think you're going to start seeing those black toes on sale as well soon. I think
they are actually. There's some site I think might be up this store or somewhere, but yeah.
There's definitely going to be some sales. There's going to be, and then also I reckon the Lucky Shorts as well, the Jordan 3s. We're divulging from Kith here, but yeah, there's going to be a fair few pieces that released earlier in the year that didn't quite do as well as I think Jordan Brand wanted. Are going to be going on sale soon, I reckon.
Hey, I think Black Cement, surprisingly, I still haven't found them on sale yet. But if they go on sale, might double up.
I think it's just, it's almost like admitting defeat in some way when shoes go on sale, if you know what I mean. That's what it feels like.
I don't mind. They can admit defeat all day.
Yeah, it's good for us. But
it just means lesser hassle on the wallet.
Yeah. I think it's a testament to waiting in some ways of being patient and waiting, and it's good for the stores because they get rid of all their stock, because they obviously got a ton of stock expecting a bit more sales, obviously. So the Black Cement 3s didn't quite go as Jordan wanted, and in Australia those shoes were readily available pretty much in most general release retailers. So those will probably be going on sale soon, but I'm definitely divulging a bit here. What did you think of these colorways of the Kith 997.5s?
Not really a fan.
Not a fan?
Sorry.
That's fine.
I don't know, man. You're right. They felt like it felt like a consolation prize of sorts if you missed out on the raffle release. But look, would you know if there are Kith branding in and around the kicks? Probably not. Yeah. Not
really. No, it's more of the box and some of the extra packaging in there have some Kith branding, but it is just a very simple, clean, looks like premium materials colorway. So it's going to be, if one of those sort of pairs.
Yeah. So it maybe if it had a bit of Kith branding at the heel, it might have, but. It just looks like any other look. Man, we buy so many kicks every week, every month, and I don't think I'll probably just get them, wear them, review them for a day, and probably forget about them until next year. That kind of shoe.
Okay, fair enough. I think.
But hey, wait, props to everyone that bought them and like them. Congratulations to you for picking them up.
Yeah.
Not for me though.
I'm very scared about getting them dirty. That is probably one of the things that I'm very scared about getting them. Any sort of, any rain, no, not coming out.
You'd spray some of those, shield protectors kind of thing.
Yeah. If any shoe protector brands want to, give me a sponsorship, I'll for sure put them on these shoes, because I'm very scared about getting these ones dirty, because they are very, very nice, very, very clean. And I feel like any sort of dirt is definitely going to show up immediately on those ones. But that's kind of our, I suppose, Kith wrap up in a nutshell. But there's another creator / brand that I'm really excited about their latest release. Sorry, Derrick?
Yeah, go.
Is the Savior J Tips. These are called I Love You, But I'm Busy. You know how J Tips is kind of doing his thing where he's giving, I suppose, a name or a moniker to all of these shoe releases, and this one's called I Love You, But I'm Busy. It's this Savior, the Saucony 6000, and man, I've seen some in-hand photos of these. We saw a couple of leaked photos of these. These look, I mean, to be honest, they've grown on me. I was not a fan when I first saw them. But man, they have definitely kind of changed my opinion the more photos I've seen. There's a couple of people who have posted early photos of them, and they're actually going to be releasing, I think, today over in the US on the JTips website, and we'll probably get an Australian sort of general release later on, maybe in April or so. But yeah, this is another pretty solid shoe from JTips and Saucony. Again, just continuing on that sort of legacy. What were your thoughts on these ones?
Wow. I don't know, man. That's like, look, this is in the tradition of J-Tips, and this is his style and color palette, and I get it. Actually have two of his sneakers, his last release, but I can't really see Overcooked because that's his brand.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. I feel like this one's a bit overcooked for me. But if you're a Knicks fan, maybe, yeah. It has that Knicksy vibe, that royal blue and orange. I don't know, man. I think it would be just a top 4.
Yeah.
I can't pull it off. It's
definitely loud, I'll tell you that. It's
yeah, I haven't even I've only worn the tan color. I haven't even worn the pink. I haven't even unds my pink colorway yet of his last release.
Yeah.
So look, I'm quite happy to pass on this, but if there ever was a chance to cop him for retail, and retail's not too bad, maybe. Because I'm not the biggest fan of J-Tips, but I do love what he's doing. And to me, he's one of those very authentic designers.
Yeah.
That is rooted in being a sneakerhead at the very start and a sneaker reviewer as well. So any chance I can support those kind of genuine people, I would. But yeah, I wouldn't be up in arms trying to cop these. At the release day, they still have our size. Maybe.
Yeah. I understand. I understand what you're saying. It's something that I think with all these recent releases, like we saw in February and in March, I think this has come at a bad time for me to try and get them. I just think that if they were maybe earlier in the year or a little bit later, probably would try and get them. But right now, I'm just like, nah, I'm sorry, I can't. I've said that April, I'm not going to buy any shoes in April. Which,
whoa, you hit it here, folks.
Yeah, which is hold me to that. But yeah, this is actually, sorry, the only one in April that I'm looking for is the Yuto Horigome SB Dunks. The matcha pair, or I mean, I saw some people calling it the asparagus pair, which was interesting. But yeah, the matcha pair, if you're going to call it that, was just beautiful. I love that pair. Are you interested in that one?
Yes. Vegan SB fan will definitely hit the raffles for that one.
Yeah, I saw them, on the Nike website, Australian website, for the 5th of March. So whether it's a first come, first served, or a raffle, not sure. But yeah, probably, all the skate shops that release the SB4s will probably have them as well. The SB4s, which, are you about to pull them out? Yeah, there they are. Making me jealous.
What? Well, I thought everyone hated these.
I mean, the more I look at them, the more I get jealous, and it's like
they're super clean. They're super clean.
It's like the revolving door of, you see the kind of fully edited images and the curated images of these SB4s and say the brick by brick, and you're like, nah. And then you see people actually getting them and wearing them in hand, getting them in hand and wearing them on feet, and I'm like, oh, damn. Those are sick. Like, those are cool.
They're super clean.
That's gonna be so nice.
Coming from someone that has the pine green already.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're super. I still have yet to review this and unds it, but anyway, just goes to show how much I've been busy.
Yeah, there's been a lot of shoes to kind of get in your content, rotation. So the SB4s is definitely a very nice one, and I saw a lot of people getting them. It didn't look like it was very hard to cop. So
no, there's as we speak right now, as we're speaking, I guess there's another round 2 raffle for Fast Times.
Yeah. So we've got some extra options if people want to try and get those ones.
Hey, try them. It's not yet April though, so hey, I'll give you a pass if you win.
There was one other release as well with New Balance that I was wanting to get your take on, was the Stone Island 998s this very nice brown and almost grey colorway with the classic, Stone Island patch on the front there. Man, these were super, super nice. And if I could have, found the necessary 450 Australian dollars to buy them and won on the raffle, I would. But again, I already had rage copped the 997s from Kith, so I was like, no thanks. And the 998 is a little bit, I don't know, it's a little, I'm really not a huge fan of that back tab. That's just me. So what were your thoughts on these ones? I know you can see them there, so that
no. I've been looking at these for a long time, but you're right. 450 is a bit steep for them, but man, they look to me they're bangers.
Yeah.
I'm a 998, 997 fan, and they were my gateway kicks into the world of New Balance. So, and you're right, that Stone Island logo on the tongue, chef's kiss.
Yes.
And they just hit the right tone and color palette for a, for sort of like an outdoorsy trail hiking vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, if I do ever find these on the low, I will cop these.
And the leather on them looks super like premium as well. And I'm a big fan of brown, and this was really hitting very nice for me. But unfortunately, it was a pass because too many other shoes. So that's just the nature of it,
Yeah, there's a lot of shoes coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of good sneakers, actually.
Yeah, very, very good. And another one. So that's kind of a wrap up, I suppose, of what has released and then what is coming out, which is one that I'm super excited about. But unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be incredibly limited, is the OG Neon 95s. Now, this is, I think, one of the hardest shoes from the Nike range, not including Jordan, to get this year. I think there's around 10,000 pairs. Which I've seen a fair bit of marketing for on like Complex and Instagram as well, and it's like they're building a lot of hype, and yet it feels like this is a shoe that should be a little bit more, widely available. I'm really not liking that this is limited. Like this is an OG colorway that I think everyone should be able to get if they really want it. There's a whole debate going around right now about, hype versus availability, and kind of is Nike doing too much with that sort of hype? But then the Nike kind of, when they were sitting, like Jordans, when they were sitting, people were like, oh, these are bricks, like Nike's dead. So like, obviously they can't win, but I'm not a fan that these are so limited. What do you think?
These are the only OG Nike Air Max that I do not have in my OG Nike Air Max collection. Can you imagine that? I mean, after all these years, so many re-releases and retros of these, I still don't have these because I said I would only buy this for retail, and it has eluded me for such a long time. But you're right. Nike's taking a piss at everyone for releasing them in such a limited quantity. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What they're marketing. You're right. They can't win either way. But hey, man, look, if you've worked in retail, the base price is not the entire cost of the shoe. And even if they release massive amounts of these and these go on sale, they would still sell out eventually. Yeah. So it's not a total loss for Nike.
Yeah.
Maybe the branding and imagery might take a hit. But at the end of the day, they will still be converted to dollars.
Yeah.
The
big bubble but small availability is what I'm dubbing these. The definite like OG kind of colorway is definitely something that draws a lot of people in. And one thing that I did notice, which I actually really love about this shoe, just from looking at kind of this version versus the original and even like the 2020 version of this release, I don't know if you can see the last panel before you hit the sole, it runs all the way from the back all the way to the toe box, which I'm a big fan of. And as you can kind of see, this image here is the 2020 version, which that last panel or the bottom panel only runs to like just beyond the midfoot, which I know is a very small detail and some people probably won't even see that. But I noticed that, and looking at different pictures and different shading, different lighting, I thought that in retrospect doesn't look as good as the original. As the new one. If you know what I mean. Like, what were your thoughts about? I suppose the
Wow,
different styling that they've put on this shoe.
that's a good pickup, man. That's a really good pickup. You got an eye for detail.
So as
I
you can see there, you got the last panel
yeah.
falls off and goes down to the midfoot, whereas this new one goes all the way along.
So I've never been the biggest 95 researcher, but is that an OG kind of thing?
Well, no, this
Do we know?
one here, the one that cuts off in the middle, is how most of them, if not all, have been made, and it's also got a little bit of a different coloured back tab on the back as well. So a little bit of a different colouring on the swoosh, and some of the neon patches are a little bit different. So they've definitely done a little bit extra on this one, on this latest 2025 release, and I think it looks incredible. Like, if I could find a pair and get it on retail, for sure I'm going to get it. But it might be an opportunity, though, to grab one of the 2020 releases for a lower price, because a new release, again, makes the price of a previous pair, if it's in good condition, go down a little bit, because people are trying to get the latest one. That's just kind of the nature of sneakers. So it could be an opportunity as well. Yeah. What were your thoughts about the... I suppose there was a big conversation, I guess, around Air Max, because it was Air Max month, Air Max day the other day. And where do you think that these 95s kind of sit? I'm putting you on the spot, but where do you think these kind of sit in the pantheon, so to speak, of, I guess, Air Max? And is this kind of the best 95 colorway?
Oh, by far, yes. 100%. 100%. This is the best colorway of the 95s.
Yeah.
There's a reason why this pair is iconic, and it's a reason why I've been lusting for this pair for such a long time.
Yeah.
Look, my take though is I'm on the same boat as you. If I do get them for retail, I get them for retail. If I don't, then it'll be a sneaker that, I might be paying resale for, but not immediately. Maybe just down the line, because, man, we're in a unique position as collectors and sneakerheads right now that if we miss out on a huge drop, there's always a next one next week. There's always a next drop next week. So you can pretty much bide your time and try not to get sucked into that whole carousel of just buying every hot release. Yeah. And then for long, you're just stuck with sneakers that you only wear once a year.
That's true. I kind of did that a little bit towards the end of last year with a bunch of fours. Like the Armand Manier fours. I've only worn them like 3 times, and so
the Armand Manier fours, man, they're a good. I think they're a good cut.
Coming into winter is one that I'm definitely going to be wearing a lot more of those fours and Jordan 1s, and perhaps like some hotter shoes. Like I can't wear them in summer. Brisbane, I live in Brisbane, which is a very hot summer city. Derrick lives in Melbourne, which is, I wouldn't really call it a seasonal city. I'd call it a crazy wild weather kind of city. They have days of 40 degrees, and then the next day it gets down to 14. So you can kind of go day to day with your sneakers. Whereas for me, I kind of put some shoes in the closet and like, all right, I'll see you in 5 months. You know, there's some shoes you just can't even really think about. So I'm excited for bringing out some of those. And you're right, not falling into the trap of just buying every single latest release and not really wearing them as much, especially if there's, some sort of sneaker that obviously has a lot of resale value. And you're like, oh, if I wear these, they're going to go down in resale value and I can't sell them. But then you're not wearing them and actually getting enjoyment out of them. So
yeah. I think a lot of it has to do with fear of missing out as well. And you're right. I mean, hey, if I don't get this for retail now, how much am I going to pay for it a couple of months down the line if I really want it?
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of that going on as well.
Yeah.
So, So when that hits me, I look at my old collection and go, I don't really need a new sneaker. If at all, I could justify it within myself.
Yeah. Well, in some more swoosh news, I wanted to get a little bit of your opinion about some of this Nike Rejuvenate slide, which has been coming around the internet a little bit. I don't know if you've seen this one, but the kind of, I suppose, foam, Nike React foam kind of inspired slip-on shoe with the really nice metallic logo. They've dropped a whole bunch of these over in the US. I don't know how they've come to Australia yet, but man, they're kind of like the summer Nike slide of the year. And I wanted to get your opinion on these ones. I've seen a fair few people review them, and they are raving about how comfortable they are and how easy they are to get on and the breathability and all that. So I'm actually, this is definitely one. I'm not a slides guy or a foam runner kind of guy, but these have definitely piqued my interest. What do you think?
I think they're dope. I think they're cool. They're dope. It's an upgrade over the design of Crocs.
Yeah.
It does remind you a bit of Crocs with those holes at the front, but it also has a bit of that 90s Nike heritage flowy pattern. The name of the sneaker just escapes me, but it has that vibe to it. Is it a little too late? No, I think it just came in at the right time because people are sort of moving away from Kanye and all his Adidas stuff.
Yeah.
This fills the vacuum.
Yeah. This feels like it could be worn outside of a purely a purely relaxing kind of casual sense. It could be worn as an actual kind of shoe because it has a bit more of a overall coverage and it's not so, I suppose, exposed. But there's also the holes at the top to be able to give you a bit more breathability. Yeah. I can see these being a huge hit in like the Philippines or Southeast Asia. I can see them producing a ton of fakes of these shoes.
If they haven't produced it yet.
They probably have already, yeah.
100% correct. This is a counterfeiter's wet dream.
Yeah.
Especially in Asia, yeah.
A foam shoe that you can just easily just mass produce and throw out on the streets, man. These are going to be everywhere. But like, I guess the Nike React technology is really what they're banking on, people feeling like the technology that Nike puts in their shoes is above what other people do, and the design also helps this shoe as well. I'm really I definitely would be interested in getting these ones. I haven't yet seen them released in Australia yet, but I definitely would be interested in these ones. And the endless colorways as well. Like as you saw, I put like 3 different colorways, but man, you can do anything with these. I think I saw a nice khaki cream one, which was super nice. A little bit of the gradient ones as well, which are as you can see here, it's kind of got that light blue to dark, like
Hornets colorway, yeah.
Endless kind of Hornets, yeah. That's a good Hornet.
It's a clean blank canvas. You can practically put anything on it.
Yeah.
I like that you can dress it up and down. You can wear it with wide cargo pants. You can wear it with shorts. You can wear it with socks, no socks. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely super nice.
$90 maybe, yeah. I mean,
I don't think they're going to be that cheap. I think they're going to be in the 160 Australian kind of range. Just put the swoosh mark up a little bit on it. You know what I mean?
160, yeah, maybe. But if it's in the 200 range, I'll wait for it to hit the outlets.
Yeah.
But it looks like you call it a sneaker. Might hit the outlets too, because if they're going to mass produce this, I see them hitting the outlets at some point. Yeah. Maybe the initial wave, they will sell out just because of the hype.
Mm-hmm.
And then in true Nike fashion, they will churn out more colorways. And eventually, you'll see them everywhere. People get sick of them and they'll hit the outlets. But yeah, I'm actually surprised there hasn't been a collab yet, or I could be wrong. There might already be one release.
Yeah. That's definitely a very nice little nugget from Nike for the summer over in America and winter here in Australia. But we're going to keep the ball rolling, and I'm going to kind of get a little bit of your opinion on some of the... There's a topic recently that kind of caught my eye. It was a little bit of some sad news about Bodega, which he spoke in an interview about his entire corporate team was laid off, but planning to keep the company alive. Reading from the article here, and he's saying that Bodega's unraveling also speaks to a larger shift in the retail and streetwear landscape. The cultural weight of a brand isn't just tied to its product, it's tied to its people. The team you empower, the values you uphold, the community you build, those are the differences in a market where prices and drops and collabs alone aren't enough. You can have the name, you can have the keys to the store, but without the soul, it's just a shell. And the Bodega kind of stores around the US have been a mainstay in kind of the streetwear culture for a long time. And stores closing down. There was also, like Stadium Goods in New York City was one of those stores that has fallen on some hard times. So my question to you is kind of, how do these stores, these streetwear sneaker boutiques, try and keep up with the big brand stores like Nike, physical stores, Adidas, physical stores? How do these brands like Bodega try and keep up with those stores?
Oh man, I probably don't have the best answer for that. But look, during this economic times, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is downsizing. It's not just these small sneaker stores, but you see it in the big corporate world.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? What was the recent one? Vodafone, Telstra.
Yeah.
Even my company has downsized
Mm.
fair bit. So look, at the end of the day, you're running a business.
Mm-hmm.
And if the business
Yeah.
is not making enough money to keep the business running, or well, the business is there to churn out some profits. Am I right? It's not just to break even and keep your employees happy and employed.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you do have to make that hard decision to let people go in order for the company to stay afloat.
Mm-hmm.
What Bodega has done is it's sort of shifted to its grassroots, yeah, and sort of, I wouldn't say fat because I feel bad for those people that lost their jobs,
Yeah.
but they sort of cut out the corporate identity that we're not this big conglomerate company anymore. We're going back to our roots. We're going to be sort of like a mom and pop shop again.
Yeah.
Which to me is really cool, and it's sort of gives us back that feeling of a small community vibe,
Mm-hmm.
and you're part of a tribe kind of thing.
Yeah.
So from a economic and sustainability standpoint, I understand why they're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that one way that these stores like Bodega, I think of Australian versions like Up There, like a Lace store here in Brisbane, like Above the Clouds, all those sort of stores. I think the way that they can stay afloat in that sort of way is by not only keeping their online presence very strong, their social media presence, is by increasing the amount of in-store releases they have as well, by actually kind of grounding the store in a way, especially if you're in a big city. You can kind of keep people interested in that, not only for big releases you want to go to that store, but you create a reputation of, man, you get good shoes, you get good releases, which also ties into the partnerships that you have with big brands. But collaborations also do play a big part in this. Stores like in Australia, Above the Clouds, Up There, have had some good collaborations with New Balance and ASICS. And I think having those collaborations also helps the stores helps keep the stores afloat. And it's important, I think, for the New Balance and ASICS of the world to keep those smaller stores in the loop, so to speak, because they provide a different audience, if you know what I mean. Like, there's an ASICS store, yes, but they'll mainly have the performance running shoes and not a huge amount of lifestyle models. They'll be kind of tucked away. If you've ever gone into one of those ASICS stores, they'll be mainly focused around running shoes.
But so not to contradict your point, but our community, sneakerhead community, we only represent a small niche in the market.
Of course.
At the end of the day, let's say for an ASICS running a running shoe store, that is still their bread and butter, and that is still the main driver of their business. So the casual Jane and John Doe, that's where they would buy the shoes.
Yeah.
Not from the boutiques, they're not gonna be looking for a collab. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I do.
They're going to be looking for a shoe that fits their running needs, or
Yeah,
just a casual shoe. They're not going to be concerned if it's an up there collab or an above the clouds collab, which have done incredible collabs,
yeah,
but they're more geared for people like us.
yes, for
you
sure.
know. So, but unfortunately, and since those sneakers are limited, they don't exactly represent the kind of sales these companies need to stay afloat.
Yeah,
And yeah, and that's why I think look, it is needed. It keeps that image and brand up, but at the end of the day, they're not the main
yeah,
drivers of their business.
yeah. 100% agree. Like we are, I think you got to realize that we are in the minority in terms of
Mm.
being this kind of interested in sneakers. It's not normal. Which my wife always tells me that it's not normal to be
What?
this interested in sneakers. So
Your wife is Filipina. She should understand.
yeah, she does. She does understand. But like, you know, what was I saw something the other day of like, you're in a man in your 30s. What's your obsession going to be? Is it going to be cars? Is it going to be fitness? Is it going to be
Watches.
watches? Is it going to be
Yeah.
like whiskey or something like that? And for a lot of people like us, it's like sneakers. So there's kind of a very heavily disproportionate amount of people who don't get into these sort of shoes, but we do. So I think keeping those stores like we spoke about before, Australian, Laced up there, Bodega, Union, all those kind of boutiques in the loop with the big brands definitely has a place.
Oh, I
And
agree. I
and
agree.
and I think that people like sneakerheads and I guess fashion influencers are kind of the trendsetters, I suppose, in the way of the general public, and with all the, say an ASICS 1130 or a New Balance 530 or whatever, like those kind of shoes that you see everywhere, all came, I feel, from an influencer wearing those shoes first and a brand putting those shoes heavily out there. And I think we're used almost like a test market. Do you kind of agree with that? Where we're kind of used as a bit of a see how we're feeling about that sort of thing, and then they kind of push it really hard to kind of the general public.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why I tend to not go into, like, say for example, I'm at the mall or whatever. I tend to not go into, Foot Locker, or actually I found myself recently going more into like Hype DC in Australia. If you're in Australia, it's kind of like a mid-tier. It's not a boutique, but it's not your JD Sports. Like they have a little bit more of a unique kind of colorways and silhouettes. Like they're really heavy into like Salomon and New Balance, and whereas JD's more into like your Nike Air Max and some Jordans and such. So those kind of stores, I don't tend to go into them too much, just because I just like, it's just all like general release stuff. Like as kind of elitist and bougie as that sounds, I just sometimes don't go into them because I'm like, it's I've seen them like 100 times, you know. I sound so bad, but no,
You're snob.
I do feel for Bodega. I do feel for any of those kind of brands that have fallen on those hard times, and I hope that they can kind of get back up by using some of the techniques that and marketing strategies that have made other brands so big, such as Kith. There's, for every Kith, there's 25 different small boutique stores that no one really knows about. So there's always going to be the outliers, and I hope that they can kind of follow that trajectory and kind of continue to push the kind of streetwear and sneaker culture a bit more.
Yeah. Also, a lot of it comes down to owner management.
That's true.
I don't know if you remember Sneaker Boy here in Australia, in Melbourne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a good store. That was a tier zero store, and they got most of the exclusives. But then they've fallen into hard times because of just poor management overall, and they lost all their accounts. And
Yeah.
before that, they had to close the entire shop. So you're right. It's about strategy, marketing, but it also comes down to
Mm-hmm.
the vision and the execution of the owners of the
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to give a little bit of time as well, just at the end of this episode, to Derrick to kind of chat about some of his latest
Yeah.
sneaker reviews and releases, because I'm super excited. You know, you post a bunch of short content about some of the ASICS shoes that you've reviewed for the kickstand, and you've also got a bunch of like Way of Wade shoes as well. Seen a couple of those different pairs, and they just look so cool, and I wish I could get all of them. That Otto pair, whew, brown pair,
Hey,
that's...
so we'll have more on that later.
Yeah. So did you want to show us a couple of those pairs in hand?
Yeah, sure. So look. Since we spoke about hype already, so also the Mizuno MXR is
Yeah.
already available here in Australia. So yeah, so go check them out. So not really a plugging for hype, but at least Mizuno is now more accessible to us Aussies. So especially for this colorway, green, cream, silver, and all that. So it
Yep.
kind of reminds me of the ASICS 1130s.
Yeah. What was the price point on those?
$200.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know it's a fair bit, but it's a nice shoe. It's a
Yep.
very comfortable shoe. My only gripe about this shoe is it was based off the I think MX 2000 model. That model had the TPU shank plate
Yeah.
for more torsional stability and all that. This one does not, unless you call this hard rubber thingy a shank plate, which it's not really rubber. It's not really a TPU hard material, but other than that, I don't mind it. I like it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. They were definitely an interesting shoe that I saw. It kind of came around when did they kind of come out? Start of March, I think.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. It's a nice rollout that Hype and Mizuno and Kickstand did.
Yeah. I'm really hoping they push through with a wider release. So.
Yeah. A few more. I saw a bunch of the like the Wave Prophecies.
Yeah.
Roughly in the $400 range, but I can definitely attest that the Wave Prophecy is incredibly comfortable, and man, they feel super nice. I'm actually going to wear them today.
Don't say that. Oh, I don't have a prophecy. I really want one.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for look. The colorways that came out are really nice, but I already have those tones of sneakers already. So
yeah,
when a different colorway hits or a collab hits, maybe.
Yeah. You get one of the mock. Get the Wave Prophecy mock, the all leather mock. Yeah.
Nice. Ooh. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. Kayano 20s. They've sort of replaced the Kayano 14s as the
little bit.
Yeah, mainstream ASICS sneaker at the moment. But funnily enough, this has been in Australian sneakers lore and legend for X amount of years. Like the past women's colorways of these have resold and sold pretty well over the past years. So I would actually say it's iconic status among Aussies on the streets is quite similar to the TNs. So,
for sure.
So I'm glad that ASICS is sort of mass producing some really nice colorways. I think the white, blue, and red pair really nice.
Yes,
it's really nice. It sold really well. There's another white cream base color that's nice, and then there's a blue one with neon gels that's really nice as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, happy to have a pair. It looks like the Silver Surfer.
I did get also. I got the Gel Kayano 20 of the Whole Studios one, the white, the monochrome one, and man, the 20 definitely can attest to the comfort of that shoe. That's
very comfy.
Very nice.
Speaking of 20s, I haven't unds this. I got this last year's the Affinity collab. So yeah, it kind of reminds me of Venom.
It's got that similar kind of gray tone, but different sort of paneling.
It's black. The lacing is different. I'm actually contemplating if I should cut this bungee cord laces and replace it with normal ones, but we'll see. So another sneaker I have yet to wear and review. It's really nice, like the pointy toe box versus the GR releases.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. What else? All right, let's quickly jump into some Chinese brands. So 361 sent this over, the low cut version of the Joker ones.
Yeah.
So, which basketball performance shoe, which I have found to be really, really good on court. I like the simple colorways. Not too wild about the their uh their other colorways, but I don't know that. Can you see that bit of
Yeah,
a
yeah. You can see the almost
front
paint
with the
dripping. Yeah.
slits and everything? I don't know. I reckon they could have just made it smaller, put it in the heel, and add a bit more red. That maybe a red TPU plate, but performance wise, this sneaker is amazing to play in on the court. Out of the box, they're really great. Definitely one of
Nice.
the breakout performance basketball kicks for 2025.
That's cool. It's a low version, you said.
Yeah, it's a low cut version
Yeah.
and done in the Joker logo. So,
Yeah.
if you guys are interested, they're available at 361,
Nice. Nice.
Australia, and 361 Sport.
Yeah. Nice.
That's that. Then the other day, was fortunate enough to work with the local distributor of the Way of Wade brand here in Australia, and they were sort of in a pickle. So they asked me, I think Way of Wade forgot to send them or haven't made e-commerce kind of photo shoot for the kicks. So
Yeah.
they were happy enough to lend me a pair of their new Wild 10s in the Liberty colorway.
Nice.
I think it's really dope.
Very nice.
It is
Very
what it is. Do
coral
you know
blue.
fun fact about this? They call the Way of Wade 10s the miracle shoe in China
Why is that? Miracle.
because it pretty much put them on the map.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is the shoe that put them on the map, and I think 4 or 5 years later, since its initial release, they're still releasing them
Mm.
because it's such an in-demand shoe, especially in Southeast Asia.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah,
Leaning, Way of Wade, Dwayne Wade, of course.
yep. So
Awesome.
I think they definitely not. I mean, aesthetic, design, performance. This shoe has it by far, gun to the head. If you ask me what I wear to play basketball to save my life, this would be it.
Okay. And
So
true to size fit?
yeah,
for
true to
performance?
size,
Yeah.
fit. White footers obviously need to go half a size up because they do run a bit narrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, great colorway, great shoe available. I think I saw it at throwbackstore.com if you guys are interested.
Yep. Throwback
Yeah.
store for all your basketball performance shoe needs.
Yeah, we'll save the best for last. So moving on, yeah, we all know about the Protro.
Yes.
Protro 6s, the All Star. The two stars here representing Kobe and Gigi. So,
Yeah.
God bless them. Yeah. So again, another cool shoe, neutral colorway. Instead of the usual scales, they have the stars here.
Yeah.
So
That was his all-star shoe from 2011, I think, right? When they played in Los Angeles.
I believe
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
or altogether a different colorway. Not quite sure, but yeah, really dope release. Really happy I won a raffle for these because I'm gonna be very sad if I missed out on these ones. So yeah. Let's move on to more Kobe stuff. And surprisingly, I don't know why these ones didn't do too well, but they still sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool of them to bring a satin dust bag with this pair. Sorry. Yeah. Don't know why. It's not really copying a lot of hate, but don't know why people aren't too stoked about this. I like it. It's the year of the snake.
Mhm.
It has 24. It's got a nice dust bag. As for the shoe itself, a lot of cool details.
It's the eggplant.
So people are interested in grabbing a really nice Kobe. These are going for the low resale at the moment.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
not as low as the red pair, but I still like this purple and gold pair. I mean, Lakers colorway. It's got the snake.
Yeah.
Kobe, year of the snake.
Yeah.
It's got that nice scaly skin at the heel, transparent, and then the shiny purple skin wire also reminds me of the purple Foamposites,
Okay.
which is a very creepy segue to the next sneaker. I've been working on my segue, guys.
Yes.
Yep. So again.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
At the moment, my sneaker of the year.
Oh.
I know Yeah, bring the smoke, bring the hate, guys. My sneaker of the year, because this represents not just for me, but for a whole bunch of OG sneakerheads in Melbourne, the turning point where where sneaker hit mainstream. This was very close to 2012. There was only 8 pairs that released in Nike Melbourne Central that
Yeah.
year. And this was the sneaker everyone went gaga for.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone just the next day decided to become a sneakerhead.
Nice.
So Nike for bringing out a special box with some special tissues and the kicks
Oh,
really I'm sorry.
with the flight
Stayed
tag.
true. Yeah, shaking. I think 99% the sneakers stayed true to the OG.
Yep. Glow in the dark.
So yeah, glowing dark
Nice.
soles, got that nice pull tab.
Mm-hmm.
Man, man, if you were a sneakerhead back in 20, this was it. This was it. People were trading cars for this.
Yep.
Um, and then if you miss out, the prices aren't too bad. I mean, 600 double the retail price Australian. It's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
If you really wanted it, if this was your grail, man, go for it.
Nice.
Go for it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm lost for words for once. Yeah.
I don't
Thoughts?
believe it. You're never lost for words. This is
Thoughts on these, my friend? Thoughts?
thoughts. Oh man. I mean, it's one of those. I've said it before. It'd be an art piece for me. It's not a shoe that I would ever be able to really wear on feet. It's just it's incredible looking, and I think that if I ever did, it would go right here on the mantelpiece right there for the background. So
Yeah, really.
Foamposite definitely very
We've got
nice.
to replace this Grinches now.
Yeah.
Put this at the back. There you go.
Yeah. There you go. That's it. Super
Yeah, that's
nice.
it. What else do we have? Oh yeah. Um, we've seen the SVs. All right. I think yeah, it's time to bring out that sneaker you've been asking me about. So, they do actually come in a really dope
Oh,
box.
that's cool.
So I really, if you're like me, I really like it when collaborators and the brands make an effort to bring out a nicer box.
Mm-hmm.
This is their usual GR boxes.
Mm-hmm.
This one also has some writing about Protoblast, and it's really nice poetry actually if you
Mm-hmm.
read it. And actually, to be honest, I'm not as stoked as you are about these kicks. Yeah, because there's two colorways that came out. There's a
Yeah.
green one and there's this brown one.
Yeah.
So the proto. I had a hard time trying to pronounce it. So this is the ASICS Protoblast
Mm-hmm.
CMLV triple I. The
Mm-hmm.
CMLV triple I stands for 958, which is a collaboration with Auto 958, the experimental love child of Kiko Kostadinov and Al Moran of Moran Art Gallery.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. That's a very long name.
But um, a lot of people are saying it looks like the NV 1000 because I mean the silhouette. Yeah,
I can feel
I get
that.
it. I get
Yeah,
it. I
I
get
feel
it. I
that.
cannot unsee it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's really cool is there is no tiger stripes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
very.
instead, you got that auto branding
Yeah.
and that lace that runs along the medial lateral sides. Um, I actually thought it is actually inspired by a basketball shoe and a cricket shoe and a running shoe from
Yeah.
the ASICS Heritage lineup.
Yeah.
So yeah, and this is not new. Kiko Kostadinov has done this soles earlier
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
few pairs, and despite looking very chunky, the sneakers are very light and
Okay.
very bouncy.
Yeah. Yeah. Got that classic ASICS kind of running kind of comfort vibe, but also it's got that very nice premium. Looks like leather on the upper
Oh,
there as well.
yeah. So speaking of Nike, no, ASICS said that the leather on these is synthetic, but man, if you look at them close up, man,
Yeah.
they look like premium leather.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whoever's in their material department, they've done a great job
Yeah.
with the leather on these.
Yeah.
It looks like real vintage crinkled leather, but ASICS said they're synthetic. So okay,
Some other brands could take a leaf out of their book.
yeah, and that all.
Yeah, that's cool as well. I love the colors. I love the colors. I love the kind of branding, the aesthetic of them. It's like very, very Kiko, very fashion, very, very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. This is the kind of, like we were talking about before with like the retailers, general release retailers. This is the kind of shoe that you won't see in like Hype or Foot Locker.
No.
Like,
Yeah. You only see this. I think above the clouds they got them.
yeah.
Up there still might have them as well.
Mm-hmm.
The green pair I think kind of sold out at asics.com.au.
Yeah.
So I think out of the two, this is the more wearable pair, the brown pair. But you know me, man. I love my sneakers loud, so the green pair kind of resonates to me.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about them?
I mean, I like my loud sneakers too. I'm definitely in that camp, but man, I just love that brown hits. I love the kind of leather tones and all that. Like, man, damn, they look nice. I think I might have to grab some of them if they jump on sale, which I think they're still sitting, so they might go on sale maybe later in the year.
Hopefully. The price tag is a bit steep though, 330 Australian.
Yeah,
so they are in that upper range.
Yeah, I think if you could get them for around the 220 or something, that'd be a great steal.
Yeah, especially with the leather. And look, the build quality and construction of these bad boys are top notch.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Okay. So what are we trading for this?
I don't know. I've got a lot of pairs to trade, but I don't know. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, we have to talk on offline. So what do you guys think? What do you guys Harrison should trade for these Protoblast?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Be fun, you know, it could be our first trade.
Well, thank you for showing us a bunch of those shoes. I really enjoy watching some of the reels that you put up. Definitely enjoy putting you're promoting the 361 Joker line very well. Like, they've obviously given you a lot of creative license to be able to do a lot of their promoting here in Australia, which is pretty cool. So, sorry, did you want to say something about that?
No. Yes. Look, with Nike, Reebok, Adidas, I think the Harden 7, Harden 7s or whatever the latest Harden is, and maybe the latest one, probably one of the better performance sneakers. But man, the Chinese brands are bringing it on, like 361, Wave Wade, Anta, Anta. Man, they bring on, and the quality is nothing to be sneezed at. Like, these guys are definitely giving the bigger boys a run for their money, and their technology and their build quality is worth every penny you drop on them.
Yeah.
So I've been fortunate enough to be in a position to be trusted by these brands to review, and not really market, but just to review, highlight, and showcase their kicks, which I'm really, really grateful and appreciative of.
Yeah.
So to be able to see these new releases from them up front and up close is probably one of my dreams when I started out as a sneakerhead.
Yeah.
So So
well, happy that you are able to kind of promote those brands and for them to trust you. So it's a good sign of quality content, which is awesome.
No, much like yours. I think you're headed in that direction, my friend.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate.
You have the ability to. I wouldn't even. I'm practically a no one and a nobody, and I'm just doing my own thing. But you have a chance to be it. It. I mean, quality and production wise, man, you kill it.
Thank you.
Kill it.
Thank you.
And not that you're consistent, man. You're not a 1 week, 1 month, 1 year wonder. You do it, man, because you love it.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a bit of a labor of love and a creative outlet. So that's kind of the reason why we do it, I suppose, is to kind of get away from the, 9 to 5 regular kind of life and delve into the world of sneakers and chat with people like yourself and other people that I've interviewed, which I really enjoy just chatting about all this stuff. And I hope that people enjoy listening. For whatever reason, listening to a couple of random guys from Australia. So I really appreciate if anyone has found this conversation insightful. If you found some of the sneakers that we've talked about enjoyable, subscribe to the channel if you definitely want to see more podcasts. Derrick is probably going to come on again at some point later on in the year, so definitely going to see more of him. And we've got some awesome new guests coming up. I think the next one, just as a preview, I'm going to be chatting to Jay from the Kingsland about
it's finally getting Jay, huh?
the events that he's going to be doing, which we talked a little bit about, but I think we've run out of time to chat about those. So subscribe, and we will chat about those with the actual creator of the sneaker events that are coming up later in the year around Gold Coast, Sydney, and Melbourne are the places where those events will be happening. So we're going to be chatting about those. Like the video if you want to help promote this to more sneakerheads, and again, go and check out Derrick's content down in the description below, his Instagram, his YouTube channel, the Chosen One, which is a great name. I always love looking at that name. So it's great stuff. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. It really does mean a lot. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Peace out, guys.